today's training session on catenacid and lockout procedures, brought to you by Multi Training SSD Inc. Security is everyone's business, and understanding these procedures is crucial to ensuring workplace safety. Training objectives. Our training objectives today are 1. To understand the lockout process and the associated risks. 2. To know when to use a padlock. 3. To recognize your responsibilities in maintaining safety. 4. To differentiate the various forms of energy. 5. To understand the lockout procedure. 6. To learn the methods of lockout. 7. To differentiate lockout devices. 8. To work effectively with a lockout card. Every year in Quebec, thousands of workers suffer from occupational injuries, death, 100-200 per year. Occupational diseases, 4,000-5,000 per year. Work accidents, 100,000-150,000 per year. Many of these incidents go undeclared, highlighting the importance of strict adherence to safety protocols. Contribution to cost times occupational injuries lead to both direct and indirect costs, compensation fees, production stops and slowdowns, hospitalization fees, medical fees, last time and administrative fees, training replacement workers, legal fees and increased insurance costs. These costs can represent up to $25 billion per year and may be 3 times the direct costs. Infraction constatation times. When an infraction is noted, it's essential to understand the legal and financial implications for both the worker and the employer. Statistics based on seniority times statistics show that workers with varying levels of experience are all at risk, emphasizing the need for comprehensive training and adherence to safety protocols. Laws on safety and health at work. Both employers and employees have obligations to ensure workplace safety. Employers must take measures to protect worker health and ensure a safe working environment. Employees must take care of their own safety and the safety of their colleagues, actively participating in risk identification and elimination. Introduction videos. We will now watch the videos. La catenacid sauve des vies and l'absence de catenacid, which highlight the importance of lockout procedures. What is a locking procedure? Locking procedures aim to ensure worker safety by preventing accidental equipment startup and energy release. They apply to anyone who may be exposed to hazardous energy, including workers, providers, contractors, and visitors. When do we have to lock? Lockout is required when working on fixed or mobile equipment for various tasks such as installation, maintenance, cleaning, and repairs. Fatal work accident in a cement industry. An unfortunate incident in the cement industry illustrates the dangers of not following lockout procedures. An employee attempting to unblock a conveyor received a fatal injury due to improper safety measures. Another fatal accident. In another incident, a subcontract worker was killed after being caught in the rollers of a mill. This tragic event underscores the critical need for strict adherence to lockout procedures to prevent such accidents. Legal obligation. RSSC. Before starting any maintenance or repairs, it is legally required to 1. Set the machine to a stop position. 2. Completely shut down the machine. 3. Lock out all energy sources to prevent accidental startup. Employer and employee obligations. Employers must ensure the safety and integrity of their workers and provide the necessary training and equipment. Employees must follow safety protocols and actively participate in identifying and eliminating workplace risks. Responsibilities in lockout procedures. Both employers and employees, as well as subcontractors, have specific responsibilities to ensure lockout procedures are followed correctly, including using the appropriate devices and reporting any anomalies. Energy sources. Various energy sources, such as electrical, mechanical, pneumatic, hydraulic, thermal, and chemical, can pose risks. It's important to identify and control these energy sources during lockout procedures. Risks and consequences. Failure to follow proper lockout procedures can result in electrical failures, mechanical malfunctions, and other dangerous situations, leading to severe injuries like cuts, burns, amputations, or even death. Work permit steps. Before starting work, obtain a permit and follow these steps. 1. Preparation. 2. Shutdown. 3. Isolation. 4. Lockout. 5. Release residual energy. 6. Starting test. 7. Perform work. 8. Return to service. Lockout methods vary depending on the situation. Simple lockout for a single worker. Multiple lockout for multiple workers, supervised by a site supervisor. Equipment and safety. Use lockout stations, boxes, hasps, and personal locks correctly. Always ensure personal locks are used only by their designated owners, and report any anomalies immediately. Lockout devices. Various devices are used for lockout procedures, including pneumatic jacks, electrical outlets, breakers, and more. It's important to use the right device for the specific energy source. Work requiring equipment operation. Ensure emergency stop systems are available and functional, and follow all safety measures to prevent accidents. Forgetting personal lock. If a personal lock is forgotten, only the site supervisor can remove it after confirming the worker is no longer on site. This ensures no one is exposed to hazardous energy. Special situations. In special situations like key loss or broken locks, follow the procedure to cut the lock in the presence of the worker and replace it as soon as possible. Equipment and safety tips. Now let's talk about some essential equipment and safety tips. The first item is the padlock equipment. This consists of a one-key lock, under the supervisor's responsibility, affixed directly to the device during a multiple lockout. The next item is the lock control, which is a unique key lock under the supervisor's responsibility. It is used to secure the lockout box. Always identify the padlock with the supervisor's name and ensure it is not used without authorization. These measures help prevent accidental startups and ensure everyone's safety. Continuing with our safety tips, the padlock borrowing is a unique key lock under the supervisor's responsibility, which can be lent to someone without a personal lock. Use this padlock only with the supervisor's permission. The locking device should be used when it's impossible to affix a padlock or hasp directly to the isolation device. Each isolation device should have a label lockout to inform other workers that maintenance is underway. Remember, never tear or remove another worker's lockout label. These practices are crucial for maintaining a safe work environment. The device's lockout. Let's look at the various devices used in lockout procedures. We have pneumatic jacks, electrical outlets, breakers, sockets for gate valves, and jack ball valves, among others. Each device is designed to isolate different types of energy sources and must be used correctly to ensure complete isolation of hazardous energy. This prevents accidental activation of machinery during maintenance work. Screening methods. Here, we have an example of a screening method for isolating devices. For instance, a circuit breaker on the ground floor can isolate a compressor. The method involves identifying the type of energy, the location, the floor, and the device number. For example, a circuit breaker might be labeled as Dur1, indicating it's on the ground floor. Proper labeling and documentation are essential for effective lockout procedures. Work requiring the operation of equipment. When working on equipment, several safety measures must be followed. First, ensure that emergency stop systems are available and functional. Define the dangerous area and isolate and lock out the equipment before removing any protection. No worker should be in the hazardous area during operation. Once the work is completed, replace all protections to ensure safety. Forget a personal lock. If a personal lock is forgotten, only the person who installed it can remove it. If the worker is unavailable, the site supervisor has the authority to cut the padlock, but only after a thorough investigation. Ensure the worker is no longer on site by checking their time card, vehicle, and contacting them if necessary. This procedure ensures no one is put at risk. Other special situations. In special situations like key loss, the site supervisor must cut the padlock in the presence of the worker and issue a new padlock. If a personal padlock is broken or lost, it must be reported immediately to the site supervisor, and a replacement should be provided as soon as possible. These steps are vital to maintain continuous safety and security.